one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. It's gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2 3. 1 2 3.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know there's these two words. And when I say them, people get goosebumps cause they know what happens next. So without further ado,
Free smoke.
look. Scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver. Pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired. No more pillow talking about nonsense. I only stick around to put some band-aids on my conscience. I don't know why I feel so bad, nigga. That's what we do, no foundation. We don't build no more, we just screw. Half a bottle of Henny, girl, I'm going with the wind. The same niggas say they happy for me, ain't want me to win. So I'm done on my friends. Don't need help popping Coronas and reminiscing. I just call up Big Bro J and say it's time for venting. If I live forever, I hold this hate for some centuries. You don't know how much I have you doing what it meant to me, but motherfuck all that. I don't even offer up the time to make the call back. Stupid Lodo, if they don't get the picture now, man, I crop them out of the photo. I can't relate to my peers. Been doing this shit for years. I'm motivated by fears. I took the wheel and I steer. My sound not dictated by fuck boys in Atlanta. Stay gifted like this album was ghost written by Santa Bars forever, like they decided to throw me under slammer. Every song's a hit like they picture me underhanders. I could drop 1,000,000 songs, but they never gon' understand us. Soapbox sermons for niggas never giving chances. Fight our whole lives to get these weak ass advances. Work twice as hard for the shit that they getting handed. And this ain't even nothing we chose, nigga, we branded. Still can't tell why all of these niggas mad at me. I'm trying to get 100 so I can put my team on salary. Give it all to the art, man, I turn my life to a gallery. Man, damn, what a fucked up masterpiece. 1,100 shots and I swear, man, I felt them all. If we ain't even good on our blocks, man, who can we call? Pre-decline state of mind, we broke crabs in the barrel. Got us fighting our folk, man, this shit just a life of peril.
Winning has a price. And leadership has a price.
Y'all be asking that same question, how does it feel when we lose, bro? How do you think? You know what I'm saying? I gotta come up with another question than asking how does it feel when we lose, bro. I'm tired of hearing that.
Welcome back to another episode of the recap. Yo, in the setup that I was in, I usually got a fan in here right now. Did not know if I was gonna bring the fan in here during the recording session. I ain't gonna lie to you, because I'm kind of cold, but I'm kind of hot. It don't really make sense. I got on a hoodie. I got on joggers. I know you can have sweats that's joggers too, but these ain't sweat joggers. These is like, as a matter of fact, these are Puma joggers. These are like thick Puma black with the white stripe going down the side. They basically like the Adidas joggers. I just think Puma make them better. I mean, I like the fabric for the Adidas ones. And the Adidas ones is cool. But the Puma ones is way better in my opinion. They feel better. They look better. To me, the quality is better. The quality hold up longer than the Adidas ones. I'm going to keep it a buck with you. I think Adidas use cheap. Now, they don't use cheap material, obviously. But when these joggers first started hitting the scene, becoming like a thing, I'm telling you, they had to have used a different type of material to start off. And now they use another material now that they done blew up with these joggers. Because when I tell you I got so many blunt holes in my joggers, yo, like all my joggers got blunt holes in them. Just blunt holes all in them. It was a home. I'm not going to tell you this story. I was about to tell y'all a story, but I'm not telling y'all that story. So I'm going to tell a different story. I was at work like a month ago. One of the females that I deal with, she had looked at my joggers and she was like, why the fuck do you got so many holes in your joggers? And then my homeboy who was standing near me was like, he probably keep dropping his blunt on his pants when he's smoking. I looked at this motherfucker and I said, yo, this is why I fuck with you. I don't even know how he knew that. He got to be as big a pothead as I was, because ain't no way he just randomly guessed that motherfucker must be dropped. He looked at the holes and literally said to himself, oh yeah, them blunt size holes. Unbelievable. Unreal, to be honest with you. Shout out to y'all though, man. How are y'all doing tonight? Because it is night. It's 1 a.m. at the time of me recording this Tuesday. I hope everybody's having a dope day, afternoon, night, whichever point in time you're listening to this. And I'm happy that you're back. The first, the Sunday recap was a little bit everywhere. It was everywhere. It was a lot of things that I talked about. No real game plan. I got away from the game plan so quick. So quick. But on the recap, I don't know why I have yet to do this. But I do it basically. I just don't call it this. But in the recap, we do have a segment where we actually recap a specific game. And that segment is called The Breakdown. That's what it was called at one point in time. But I didn't like that name because I done seen so many people name different things The Breakdown. So I was like, it's not going to happen. So I had just been breaking down games for the last couple weeks, not really knowing what I'm going to rename the title, because I don't go in specifically break down every single game. I do run through different games, but it's one game that I usually spend a lot of time with, more so than I spend time with the other games. I try to make it different games every week. The Ravens never count because that's the team I actually root for. So I'm always more than likely going to talk about the Ravens, even though I didn't really break down the Ravens game against the Commanders. Don't worry, though. We're here for a reason tonight. But I'm still working on a title for this segment. And the plan is that this segment would kick off every single show after the Monday Night Football game is over. Next week, we got 2 Monday Night Football games. But that's the goal. Okay? So while I understand that the show is called The Recap, the first segment is also called The Recap. Okay? That might be confusing. That might be very confusing. My advice is stop being confused by it. All right? Simple as that. Now, the New York Jets, the Buffalo Bills, where were they at? They were in MetLife. The Jets call that home, but I don't know. It kind of feel like it's more so the Giants' home. But nonetheless, I don't even like that 2 teams share the same stadium. Mind you, 4 teams share the same stadium. The Rams and the Chargers share the SoFi Stadium, even though it kind of feel like it's more so the Rams Stadium. And the Jets and the Giants have shared MetLife Stadium since I've been watching football, really. To be honest with you, it's really amazing that they have never had. I mean, I don't see how they would ever have it, but how the machine has never messed up the scheduling to like 1 week the Jets and the Giants have scheduled home games, and you like, what the hell? I mean, that probably has happened, but they was able to fix it before the schedule was released. But I don't understand why. I changed my mind. I do understand it. New York is not building 2 different football stadiums. It would make no sense to have 2 football stadiums in New York, especially in the area where I'm imagining. You want to know what's crazy? I've never been to New York. I never had the desire to go to New York for the. I'm pretty sure I done said this before. I'm very vocal about not going to New York and not really wanting to go to New York. Like, I know it's places that everybody want to go. New York, LA, the Hollywood sign. Yeah, those don't apply for me. I mean, I'll go to New York if I, Christmas in New York is probably the only thing that I'm super intrigued to go see. SNL and Christmas in New York, and like the downtown Rockefeller Center or whatever. I'm interested. I don't care about the ball dropping. The Christmas tree is what I want to see. Aside from those 2 things, don't really have a desire to be in New York. The rat, mouse, rodent infestation problem is disgusting to me. The thought of getting on a subway and seeing a fucking rat running through the subway is insanity. To me, it really don't make sense for humans to be this dirty, or for humans to be allowed to be this dirty. And here's why. I'm around a lot of New Yorkers who done moved out of New York. A lot of my homies is from New York. So I'm not just speaking out of turn. Sometimes I sound like I'm from New York. That's because I'm around these motherfuckers so much. And you just tend to pick up on things that they say, and you tend to, mimic that at times. But listen to me. It's not about me. my homies, my friend, and this is not just dudes. This is men and women. From the things that they have told me about New York, the things I've seen, I will never forget this video where I saw this woman was like, those is it was like a big old group of what at first I thought it was like a big ass group of birds in a park, broad daylight. It was like thousands of them, and I was like, damn, there must be birds eating. And the camera panned down and she said, those is rats? And I said, those rats? They zoomed in, bruh. It was like thousands of rats in broad fucking daylight in a park. That right there, yeah, that's a no for me, dog. That's a big fucking no for me, dog. If I'm walking in public and a rat just run through the shit, like, I'm like, yo, no. I'm gonna tell you something else. These downtown areas of different cities, I'm not gonna name the cities, disgusting. Every single down, except for one. But it's only because I didn't go down there frequently. When I lived in Durham, I didn't go down. Well, I went to school in downtown Durham for a long time, but I never was in Durham downtown. After I got out of classes and shit, I left downtown Durham. So it could have been disgusting down there. I don't know. They had a baseball team down there, though, so I highly doubt it. But some of these downtown areas in these different cities, disgusting. The rats and the mice that run around because, like, the it's a dumpster right there, but all the trash is outside the fucking dumpster. I don't understand how we can have so many diseases, so many illnesses that's caused by bacteria and things like that, and as humans, we still decide to be disgusting. It's very interesting. I guess we all have that thought that our systems are immune to anything. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is, but it is crazy. It is something else. But the New York people that I done been around, all the New Yorkers, the New Yorkers who I'm around and whatnot, yeah, they say the same thing. They say New York is pretty much a crowded, dirty ass city. Unless you live in the rich parts, and even then they said the rich parts is expensive, nasty, dirty, and just overpriced. And I believe that. I have not seen too many major cities or destination spots where they can say, yeah, you know, we got a rodent problem here also. But that's one of the charms of the city. Why would rodents be a charm of the city? I just think New York is disgusting. The subways need to be cleaned up. There's no reason why rats and mice should be running on a subway while people on it. It's no reason they should be running on it regardless. But I understand the sewage system and all those type of things. You can legitimately hire somebody. Hire a group of people that's on the clock, multiple people, to keep the subways clean. Do the trains always run in the train station in New York? I got no clue. I don't live in New York. But I would imagine that it's gotta be time for these fucking things to be clean so that rats and mice is not just running around in the open. It's measures to be taken. When you want to be clean, you will make the decision to be clean. I done watched a lot of Explore Japan videos. A lot of them. I do not see rats and mice and rodents running around these Japanese train stations. These Japanese, Asian, Chinese, I know that all of these stations look phenomenal in the videos. Every single station is a phenomenal looking. It look like it's kept upright. And am I telling you that every single train station in a part of where it's clean? That's not what I'm saying. But I'm realizing that us Americans, not us Americans, you New Yorkers, just foul people, foul mouthed. I don't have a problem with that part, but the rat part, yeah, that's nasty. That is. You know, I be hearing people say nightmare fuel. That's exactly what that is. I had a nightmare like 2 months ago. I don't know if my nightmares is like everybody else's nightmares. What qualifies a nightmare? Because scary shit happening in a nightmare, the scary stuff got to be happening. I don't even want to speak this out in the public because of what just happened to my mom. Because my mom keep going through health scares and whatnot. But I had a nightmare like 2 months ago that my mom was dying in my nightmare. And that shit woke me up and like, that shit had my heart racing. I woke up sweating. I called my mom that night to make sure she was all right. And I think she quickly realized that I was having a nightmare or something like that. And so she tried to talk me down and calm me down and shit. Like, I'm a grown ass man who still feel like, if you don't love your moms, man, that's on you. But yeah. That was a nightmare that I had. I can't tell you the last nightmare that I had aside from that, because like scary shit happening in my dreams. I don't remember most of the things I dream about anyways. They say you dream every night. I imagine so. I couldn't tell you the last time. Well, I could actually. The story I just told you is the last dream that I remember. Couldn't tell you another one, but I would just hope that New Yorkers dream about not being so goddamn dirty with them rats. And I know that the New Yorkers, this ain't all on them. Nobody wakes up and says, I want to see a mouse or a rat on the train today when I'm catching it. Nobody says that. But New Yorkers, you got to do better. The Jets, the Buffalo Bills. What a game. I'm telling you. Kinlaw tried to do everything in his power to lose this game for the Jets. The Jets did lose this game, but Kinlaw did not help at all in the cause. It's him and Greg Zerline need their asses beat. Now, Greg Zerline, it'll be an easy ass beating. For Kinlaw, he kind of a big dude. You're going to need a big dude to match the big dude. But just ridiculousness, just undisciplinedness, not from Zerline. Zerline, you just asked because you was missing kicks. But the undisciplinedness from really both teams, because both teams, I don't really like calling a team undisciplined just because they have flags, because some of the flags is not warranted. Some of them is not good flags. But when you watch a game, the flags that I call undisciplined flags is like, we just got this team off the field, you commit a fucking flag. And like committing a pass interference, that's not ignorant. Like, that's ignorant. That's not one of those plays to me, because that can happen to anybody. You push somebody after the play over right in front of the ref. You hit somebody, taunt in front of somebody. Things like that. Like, think about this. During the game Sunday, Nate Wiggins had broken up a play and immediately started taunting in front of the player's face, and Marlon Humphrey had to pull him away from the dude so they wouldn't get flagged. That's selfish. You went into business for yourself immediately. And I don't want to hear that shit where, Saint, something good happened, they got to celebrate it. I have no problem with people celebrating. You know that there is a taunting rule. I don't care how high your endorphins or adrenaline is. Stop taunting in front of niggas costing your team. Like, straight up. I don't like it when people excuse that type of shit. It's nothing that you can say to me that can excuse niggas taunting in front of other players knowing that you will pick up a flag for that. I don't get it. And I understand Nate is a young dude. And thank God that Marlon was there to help him, because that could have changed the game. What if he get caught on that taunt and they keep him on the field and then Washington go down? Because the Baltimore Ravens already do enough to give the other team life. They already do enough staying on the field, can't get off the field. So when you do make boneheaded decisions like that, that's going into business for yourself. Because that penalty don't hurt you. It hurt the team. But you made that decision to hurt the team. You went into business for yourself. You point shaved. And it was your decision. Nobody else's. And I didn't even think about that until I started having this conversation. But yeah, that actually bothered me with Nate Wiggins. Baltimore need to do something with these young dudes on their team. Zay Flowers had penalties that cost the Ravens last year in big spots where it's like, come on, bro, you can't make these kid mistakes. The Ravens gonna have to do something about these rookies. It's like the only rookie who I done seen the last couple of years who don't come in and try to cost his team because of boneheaded decisions is Lamar. I just don't like look at, and this is probably what I don't understand about it. Look at a guy like Lamar and Derrick Henry, ultra successful. You don't see them taunting in people's face. You don't see them having to immediately need to get up and turn around and taunt in the opponent's face. You don't see that. Niggas need to grow up. Point blank, period. Now, I know that ended up with me talking about Wiggins, but this was a conversation about Kinlaw. Let me break down for you what the end of the game was for Kinlaw. All right. He had a roughing in the passer penalty that kept the drive alive that was at the 5-minute mark for the Bills, that kept a drive alive. He had an onside call that really didn't hurt him at first. Then he picked up a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct. What else did he do? And it was one more penalty in there. He just had himself a hell of a fourth quarter, to be completely honest with you. A hell of a fourth quarter. Shit like that would make me bench somebody if I'm a head coach. I'm not going to lie to you. Things that will get me heated the quickest, like that will get me heated in a second, is when I see niggas doing things like this. It's as simple as that. I do not understand what was going through Kinlaw's head at the end of this game. But my guy, it's going to be a rough film session for you next time y'all have film study, because you did a lot to hurt your team at the end of this game. A lot to hurt your team at the end of this game. And your team ended up losing. And I can almost guarantee they could have done without the roughing penalty, the onside penalty, the 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, and the other penalty that you picked up that I didn't write down. Not to mention 204 fucking penalty yards in this game combined. Both teams had 10 plus penalties for over 200 plus yards combined. I would like to say that, these teams was just undisciplined. It was some undisciplined things happening in this game. But the most of these penalties, I couldn't even explain to you. Holding, pass interference. I really don't like the pass interference rule. It's not that I don't like the rule. It's just that the rule just the rule is not good enough, because some of these pass interferences, matter of fact, I don't like the pass interference rule. I really think it should be a reviewable thing, but obviously they tried to go to that before, and then the refs wouldn't reverse shit, so they ended up getting rid of it. That right there, to me, I don't understand how the NFL did not punish the referees for that whole debacle. Like, if players chose to go directly against an implemented rule, players would be fined, players would be punished. The referees banded together to basically say, fuck this review system. What we say goes. And every time we review pass interference, we gonna still stick with the call, unless it was just so crazily egregious that we got no choice but to change it. Even though there were egregious ones that they still did not change, because they had just made up their mind. What we say goes. We could care less what y'all have to say about it. And the NFL let that happen. Not only did they let that happen, they ended up letting it happen and letting these motherfuckers get that rule out of the game. Unbelievable. Now, a rule that I truly believe has to be rethought, relooked at, or taken out completely, because I understand why the rule was put in, but this rule is clearly not a fair rule when it comes to the defense. This body weight thing, this sacking, this roughing the passer shit, yeah, they got to do something with this. This is just not a good call. AJ Espinoza had a sack tonight that got called back. I don't know what else he could have done. These dudes is 280, 270 plus pound dudes running at full speed, and you telling me that they got to try to maneuver their body and do all this type of stuff in the midst of... And I understand some players done found ways to do it. Not every single time. I saw a dude give up a sack the other night because he was scared to sack Joe Burrow and land on him. So he just tried to hug him, and Joe didn't go down, and the play stayed alive. This is clearly a disadvantage for the defense. When you have to think on the defensive side of the ball, now I understand we don't want dudes just going out there playing moronic ass, barbaric type of, it's a barbaric game. We don't need to make it more barbaric than it already is. Having dudes just going out there and telling them to run into another man in a full collision and worry about the stuff later, we not in those times no more. I get that. But some of these calls that the refs are making for these, mind you, I would love for somebody to do the research. And white people gonna hate what I'm about to say, what the racist ones are. I have to see how many of these penalties is getting called for the black quarterbacks and the white quarterbacks. Because I don't see Lamar Jackson get roughing in the passer penalties. And I see roughing in the passer by the letter of the law on him all the time. I see Joe Burrow get it. I see Allen get it. I see Rodgers get it. I saw Brady get it. I see the white quarterbacks get it. So I really need to see that stat. But aside from the race part of that rule, I just don't like the rule. Because it's not a good rule. It's just not. And I understand you want to protect the quarterback. The quarterback need to protect himself also. The offensive line get paid to also protect the quarterback. So when you got an offensive line getting paid to protect him, the quarterback need to learn how to protect himself. And now you bring in the officials who are allowed to protect him. I'm just not with that. If it's an egregious play, like Kinlaw hit Josh Allen after the play tonight. I thought that was a pass. I mean, I could see why they would call that roughing the passer. That wasn't egregious to me. Because one of the things that I think the NFL done allowed to happen far too many times is dudes getting hit late after the whistle and play is already dead. One of the most irritating, annoying ass things that I see in the NFL on a routine basis is these dog piles where dudes is just jumping on top of each other. Or actually, the most egregious thing is once players are already down on the ground and done, and a defender still run by and try to hit them hard while they're on the ground. I see that happen all the time. Somehow the NFL does not enforce. You might get some refs that call it. Most refs don't. I don't get that. Having players get hit late, and I'm not talking about they run out of bounds and get hit late. No. I'm talking about the plays where running backs, receivers, quarterbacks, they are on the ground. The play is dead, and some jackass still want to take an extra hit. And we act like that's just cool. Like we just done allow that to happen. That's unnecessary roughness to me. And that shit's never called. Unless you do some shit like Dawkins did, the Buffalo offensive lineman who just belly flopping niggas. Which I agree with that Jets. Williams. Bro, Dawkins. If I'm Williams' size, you would have got your ass beat for that. I ain't gonna lie. That to me is so ignorantly. And I think that's why I don't like Dawkins as a player. I think that's why I'm not the biggest fan of him. I'm not going to say I don't like him. I don't root for him. Because when you do shit like that, to me, that's crazy. That could really hurt somebody. That could kill somebody as big as your fat ass is jumping on somebody like that. So, to me, when players do shit like that, I really don't like that. I wish the NFL would step in and do more. Like, I think Dawkins should have been suspended for 5 games for that shit. Now, somebody going to be like, Saint, yo, you going too far. This is what y'all don't understand. You're not the ones out there putting your bodies on the line. So I don't give a damn what nobody who don't put their bodies on the line got to say about the game being too soft. These are husbands. These are fathers. These are sons. These are brothers who other motherfuckers want to see them live a healthy life. Just because you look at them as pawns to your entertainment, so you don't care about the brain damage and all this other type of shit. Because I find it funny that fans always say, oh, the NFL supposed to care about player health. Nigga, you don't care about players' health. Why are you turning this and trying to go at the NFL when you know good and damn well you don't? This is why I don't like Twitter. Twitter done gave hypocrites and ignorant niggas just far too much room to get on a space and be a hypocrite. You got motherfuckers who couldn't give a flying fuck about a player's safety, who will hop on Twitter and be like, oh, the NFL supposed to care about player and health safety and shit. You don't care about that. It's just like when an NFL player do something in his personal life, everybody want to bring it up. But y'all didn't bring up Big Ben raping bitches or Big Ben's assault cases, rape cases, alleged. Y'all didn't bring up none of those. Y'all don't bring up the white people's mistakes. Y'all only bring up mistakes for white people if you don't like them. But this thing that y'all do where y'all think that if you bring up all the mistakes of this person and try to shame them on the internet, that's going to make the team release him or something. I cannot tell you how many comments Tyreek Hill get every day about him beating children or some shit like that. Adrian Peterson beat his son, and he get called a abuser every day. So the fact that, you know, social media just got the free reign to just call niggas whatever they want to, and trust me, social media ain't got no problem calling black people all types of crazy ass shit. It's annoying. It really is. I really can't wait till the day that social media is shut down, specifically Twitter. Or when somebody else takes over and buys that shit from Elon Musk. Because I don't know why Twitter allowed Elon. That's how you know it's always a price for your soul. It's always a price for your soul. Twitter didn't give a fuck what Elon did with that shit. They just said, oh, he about to give us billions for it? Yes, sir. It's always a price. What the $1 Million Man say? Everybody has a price. That's a fact. Now, as we were talking about Kinlaw, I also want to talk about Conklin real quick because, you know, on the Jets' last drive, Conklin had a catch where he should have just ran straight through the nigga's chest, through his defender's chest, and instead what he did was try to do some shake shit like he Derrick Henry or like he some, I didn't even mean to say Derrick Henry, like he like some elusive short dude who can break ankles and shit. Bro, you're a big tight end. taking on a corner or a defense. Just run through their chest, bro. You're a tight end, not a wide receiver. You're not in a receiver body. You've never been known to have wiggle. But for some reason, instead of running right through this dude's chest, you just tried to shake him. You see, shit like that irritates me. Yesterday, during Sunday football games, especially in that Giants game, go look at some of the plays where look at the play where Joe Burrow rolled out to the left. And look at how he stood there making a play, and it was a giant defender right there who could have attacked him, but instead of attacking him, he just stood there and kept trying to watch to see what Joe Burrow was going to do. It wasn't Brian Burns, but somebody else from the Giants defense. I'm pretty sure it was the dude whose name I cannot remember. He shot straight through Joe. He did not think about it. He didn't take time to question it. He didn't take time to say, should I do? He immediately, all speed, went after Joe Burrow. No break, no stop, no nothing. He went straight for Joe Burrow. Whatever happened after that, everybody else has got a job to do also. But my job is to attack this dude, get him on the ground, do not think about it. We got so many players in the NFL right now that's thinking instead of just hitting niggas or instead of tackling them. And don't get me started on the terrible form tackling. But I saw that by Conklin, and that was so annoying. But then it made me think about how dudes will see plays happen, and instead of attacking the play, like a Kyle Hamilton, they sit there and try to watch it and try to let me see if I can. Like, no, attack that play. That's one of the most annoying things I see in the NFL on a week-to-week basis, bro. It's like niggas think they smarter than they actually are. My guy, just attack the ball. Like, why are you sitting here thinking and shit, and that's giving them time to make a play. Another thing that I saw in this game, for all the people who say the helmet-to-helmet rule is a bad rule. Now, see, that's not a rule that I'm ever going to advocate for them getting out of the game because I think that's a rule that needs to be in the game. And for the people who constantly say, but see, that head-to-head tackling is not the same as the sack problem. I understand how hard it is for dudes who is trying to get a sack to basically not land on a quarterback. I can see how tough that is. Trying to tell me it's tough for a defender not to lead with his head and drill a nigga in the head. Yeah, I'm sick and tired of y'all saying that. Because, see, Taylor Rapp, shout out to him, former Ram. And where my man's name at? I wrote it down. Hold up. Did I write it down, bro? Yes, I did. Tyler Hamlin and Damar Hamlin and Taylor Rapp. Combine the names. They had a tackle in this game. Aaron Rodgers basically tried to get Garrett Wilson killed, and he put a pass in between. He threw one of them Peyton Manning balls, except for it was very accurate. But where the receiver was at, he was definitely gonna get killed. Look at the tackle they made. Damar didn't go for the helmet, neither did Taylor Rapp. Both of them had time to launch themselves at him. And not Taylor Rapp launched his body around the night. I don't want to say it was safe because it's never safe when you take your body off of the ground and launch it at people. But he didn't do it in a way that was going to hurt it could have hurt his opponent also. But he wasn't maliciously trying to take dirty hits on people, basically. Like I keep saying, people keep telling me, oh, it's impossible not to hit somebody in the head. No, it's not. Damar Hamlin and Taylor Rapp delivered a huge hit to dislodge the ball. Neither of the two launched themselves at Garrett Wilson's head. Now, Garrett Wilson fell down at the end of the play as if he had got hit in the head, but the replay showed he did not get hit in the head at all. But that's how you tackle. That's how you make an impact hit without attacking a man's head. I don't understand what's up with y'all fans. I'm going to be dead ass with y'all. Y'all insatiable. This appetite that y'all have to see niggas get fucked up on that field out there. Yeah, that's just inhumane to me. Y'all some barbarians. I'm going to keep it a whole buck with you. But nonetheless, I got to get through the notes that I wrote. Oh, Nike had a commercial. I'm glad I wrote this down because I would have forgot. Nike had a commercial in this game. It was during one of the commercials that said, it was Love Hurts. It was that commercial, like the Love Hurts commercial. And before they had explained that it was a Nike commercial, I dead ass thought that this was like some type of sexual commercial. Because it was saying love hurts and women was like struggling to sit down and shit. And then it was a dude who was like struggling to get down. And I'm like, is this a getting fucked in the booty ass commercial? And then as I thought that, Nike popped up and I looked at the dude's shoes and I was like, oh, they must be tired from running. But the showing a woman basically damn near rubbing her ass and then saying love hurts, I'm thinking he fucked the shit out of her and she hurting now. Nike, y'all gonna have to do something with that commercial, man. Or maybe my mind is just unbelievable. Zerline missed a 32-yarder. I don't remember how the length of the second one. It wasn't a deep one either, but yeah, Zerline, you need your ass beat. I'm not gonna lie to you, my boy. I know people miss kicks and whatnot, but this was not a 40. This was not a 50. These was kicks that you should have made, and you missed both of them. Unacceptable. The Bills kicker even just, the Bills kicker might have had one of the worst kicks I done ever. They started clowning him. They was like, they kick better than that on the McAfee Saturday football thing. I'm like, whew, sheesh. But yeah, that extra point that he missed in this game, that was embarrassing. I don't want to hear, oh, to win. I ain't trying to hear that, buddy. You're a professional kicker. The win, understanding how to kick and the win is a part of your job. Tyron Smith. Listen, Tyron's not bad, but he clearly is not the same player he was when he was with the Cowboys. That is so very evident because he got work tonight. He done been decent this season, but he did not have a great night tonight. The penalties, he gave up like 2 sacks. One of them was taken away. I think he gave up 3 sacks. One of the sacks he gave up was taken away because they called roughing in the passer. But AJ Espinoza just destroyed Tyron Smith tonight. Tyron Smith is going to be interesting to see because he clearly not the same player he used to be. I don't think he a trash can or anything like that. This just wasn't a great night for him. The interception that Aaron Rodgers threw at the end of the game. Oh, for one, Aaron Rodgers did the Hail Mary shit again. You know he done thrown 4 touchdowns on Hail Marys in his career. Going into the half, he threw a Hail Mary to, well, I don't know who he was throwing it to, but Lazard ended up coming down with the ball. So, yeah, I remember this was Aaron Rodgers' best game to me as a Jet. I don't think he done played a better game as a Jet. I don't think he done looked better as a Jet. This was his best game as a Jet. They jinxed him at the end because he hasn't thrown for 300 yards in about 2-3 years. It seemed like he was about to do that. And Troy Aikman was like, they're going to win this game. He going to throw for over 300 yards. And they ended up losing and he did not throw for 300 yards. So, what a jinx. What a jinx. But looking at this game, the red zone really was a difference because the Bills scored touchdowns in the red zone. New York didn't. But I'm actually not discouraged about New York after this game. New York could have won this game. That was a crazy interception at the end of the game by Johnson. I don't know what happened on that play with Rodgers and Mike Williams. I don't know if it was a bad throw. I don't know if Mike Williams just slipped and tried to get. I don't really know what happened with that. It looked weird the whole way through, but what an interception by Johnson. And that moves they were 2-3 going into this game, I believe. So now the Jets are 2-4 with I think the Bills are now 4-2. And there's still a lot of season left to play. So I don't think the Jets by any means necessary are out of this game. The announcers, Troy and Joe, kept talking about the fire and the Rob Saleh throughout the game. But you want to know something? As I was watching this game tonight, I didn't say this on the previous show, but I just remember how that team was under Rob Saleh. I don't know how I forgot about this. The way they treated Zach Wilson under Rob Saleh, nah. I probably would have had his ass out of there 2 years ago. As a head coach, when you got players treating Zach Wilson the way they had treated Zach Wilson on that team, and the way that they went out of their way to show support to the other quarterback that wasn't Zach Wilson, to me, when you have a team like that, that's a problem. Not only are you enabling that, you allowing it. Because John Harbaugh would never allow his players to make shrines for backup quarterbacks and shit. That's Doug Peterson allowed that shit to happen. So I'm not really shocked at what's happening to him in Jacksonville. I know Doug Peterson is a good head coach, but I knew it was flaws in that armor after he allowed that to happen to Carson Wentz. And just the way I saw that they treated Zach for 2 years there, just because you asked don't mean you deserve to be treated like less than human. You think Zach Wilson went out there every week and wanted to be bad and wanted to lose games? You don't think he wanted to win games just as much as everybody else out there? What did it do for his confidence having all the other players not rock with him or visibly make shirts for backup quarterbacks and shit? And Rob Saleh allowed that to happen. So as much as people want to keep coming to the defense of Rob Saleh, that nigga deserved to lose his job. Because what other coach would we think that that's cool for to allow that to happen? I don't care if people don't like Zach Wilson. I'm not here to talk about if you like somebody. I'm here to talk about what an NFL head coach should never allow his team to become. Undisciplined, ignorant, annoying, less than a team. It's no secret Aaron Rodgers spoke on it when he got there about how that team had been before he had got there. That's the one thing I do agree with Aaron Rodgers with when he called out that team about their lack of how they don't support the quarterback, how they was, yeah. The way that, and Rob Saleh was the head coach while that shit was happening. I'm going to be completely honest with you. After I thought about that, I would never give Rob Saleh a head coaching job. He would be a defensive coordinator in my eyes the rest of his career. And I'm not saying that one thing should fuck up something like that. But to me, it's certain things as a head coach that you should know you should never allow to happen with your organization. You should never allow somebody to hit your starting quarterback in practice. Never. That should get a coach fired. Could you imagine what would happen if John Harbaugh allowed Lamar Jackson to get hit in practice? He'd be on the unemployment line. The fact that you allowed that team to basically do what they did to Wilson and become what they became, yeah, you could say that that's just him being a young head coach. It's no coach, young, old, new, old, no head coach is going to allow that to happen with their team. To let a war basically break out between a personal rivalry or war that's split in the locker room. When shit like that happens, usually the coach is gone. I think Rob Saleh should have been fired the first year that happened to Zach Wilson. But he allowed it to happen for a second year. I still can't even believe it. Talking about it right now, I cannot believe that he allowed that to happen. So, yeah, I'm 100% okay with Rob Saleh being fired. I have no problem with it. I didn't have a problem with it before. I just didn't really understand it that much before. But now that I'm thinking about this, yeah, he should 100% be fired. And the Jets should be trying to think about moving towards the future. Now, the dude that they got filling in right now, cannot remember his name. Great beard, though. Great beard. Looked like he would be one of those older muscle dudes on a he kind of looked like that nigga off of that show SWAT, the old dude on SWAT. All them dudes on SWAT is like old dude. My mama watched the show. But he kind of looked like one of them dudes that could be on a movie where he like all those movies where the ex-Marine have his homie get killed or his mom get killed or his dad or his love interest or his daughter or something. They get killed in a small town. This former military, Marine, mercenary ass type dude go hunting all of them down and killing them. We done seen this scenario 1,000 times. We done seen that movie 1,000 times. It don't matter how many different times they make that movie. We done seen it. It's John Wick. It's The Equalizers. Those are the two bright spots of that type of movie. But for the most part, it's the same thing. Now, he looked like he could play in that, though. I'm dead ass. I wish I remembered his name. But when you look at this game tonight, I don't really think this was one of them games where it's like, oh, man, the Jets just don't have a chance or the Bills. It looked like an even matched team to me. It looked like evenly matched teams. And I'm going to be honest with you. If Aaron Rodgers, this is the thing. Aaron Rodgers played his best game as a Jet. And he really did have people let him down tonight. Now, he didn't hit every throw. He got kind of erratic on them last two drives, to be completely honest with you. I was actually shocked at how erratic he was. Because this man made a throw tonight to, who was it? To Lazard. You got to go see it. This was probably the best throw I done seen all season. I don't know if it was between this one or the Lamar Jackson one. I'm leaning towards this one. I'm not going to lie. As great as that Lamar Jackson play was, I think I'm so desensitized to it because I watch him every fucking Sunday for the last couple years. So it's not even that I'm desensitized to it. I just see Lamar do crazy shit all the time. Aaron Rodgers basically walked this ball to this dude. Like, it was the defender whose back was like right there. The ball could have hit off of this dude's back. And Rodgers literally put this in a tight spot. And it went right into the dude's basket. Like, he didn't even have to try. Like, and another throw like that happened on Sunday night. But I cannot remember who it was that made the throw. I don't remember if it happened in that Bengals game. I think it was Jared Goff, actually. I'm trying to think of all the games I watched yesterday. So I watched that Lions game. It could have happened in that one. It was another game I was watching. I was watching that Steeler game. Who was the quarterbacks in that game? Hold up. Who did they play? They played the Raiders. It didn't happen in that game. Who else did I watch yesterday? I watched that area. It didn't. I think it happened in that Giants game. It either happened in that Giants game, even though I think it happened in that Lions game. I think Jared Goff made a throw yesterday that was insane, but I'm not 100% sure if it was him. Nonetheless, the throw that Aaron Rodgers made tonight to Lazard in the middle of the field late in that game, bro, that's one of the best throws I've ever seen in my life. That dead ass is proof as to why Aaron Rodgers is an NFL quarterback. Because, you know, you can say all you want to about Aaron Rodgers. One thing we can't question is that nigga's arm. That motherfucker got one of the most special arms I've ever seen. And this is my irritation when it comes to these talking heads on ESPN. We don't debate a quarterback's arm if they're a good quarterback. If we know they can throw, we don't care about how strong their arm was. Peyton didn't have the strongest arm in the world. The only time you supposed to talk about somebody's arm is when it's like a generational arm. Aaron Rodgers got a generational arm. I don't think Josh Allen has a generational arm. I just think people like white quarterbacks who throw the ball far like a Brett Favre. I don't think Josh had like some generational arm. He got a great arm. When I'm thinking about a generational arm, like with generational, Aaron Rodgers done made some generational throws. Where it's just like, only this nigga is making this throw. I done seen Aaron Rodgers make throws that I don't think Pat Mahomes can make. That's how crazy Aaron Rodgers is. Like, I will never question his ability to sling that pill. And it's not a pigskin. I learned that the other day. It's actually cow skin. The pig skin, I guess they said the gallbladder of a pig used to be in the football back in the day, but we don't do that anymore. We don't do that here. I can't believe people actually thought they was still, well, you know, it's a cow skin, so it's hide, it's cow hide that they use to make the footballs. I just be watching shit, truly. I really, truly just be watching shit. It's no reason I should know that information. I just be watching shit. But yes, this was a good game. Now, if I'm Aaron Rodgers, my best game as a Jet, a lot of y'all let me down. A lot of y'all let me down. Greg, you the first one. Belt to ass, my guy. You had 2 kicks that definitely played a huge part in this game. Played a mega part in this game. So I'm not ready to sit here and go with Aaron Rodgers. As a matter of fact, they probably should have made these moves sooner. The head coaching firing, the biggest one being getting Nathaniel Hackett's ass off of play calling duties. That's the biggest thing. They had to get his ass off of play calling duties because the offense looked way better. This is the best this offense done looked since Aaron Rodgers done been here. And granted, he only played 1 game last year. But in the handful of games Aaron Rodgers done played as a Jet, this by far was his best performance. I just think it was other guys who didn't show up to the party with him. But this was a great game. I can't wait to see these 2 teams play again, as a matter of fact. Like, this was, I thought for the longest that the Jets were going to win this game. I thought they was going to figure out how to win this game. But they kept figuring out ways to lose it. Just missed opportunity after missed opportunity. Like, that's the story of the game for the Jets tonight, to be completely honest with you. Just missed opportunity after missed opportunity. Until the opportunities ran out. Once again, shout out to my guy Taylor Rapp, man. But yeah, that's the story of the game. That's the story of the game for the penalties and missed opportunities. Because this was a very, very much a winnable game for the Jets. Like I said, for the most of the night, I thought the Jets were the better team. The Jets are dealing with some injuries because they just lost DJ Reed. They already down their third corner. And the Jets got a great cornerback. You know what I realized watching the Jets? Man, that defense still got some magic. Every time I say that, just think of Frosty the Snowman. There must have been some magic in that. What's the next line? Big old tall black ass hat? I don't know the next line, but it was still some magic in that defense. Because I think the Jets defense is fine. I actually don't think that the Jets defense is a problem. To be completely honest. Except for Kinlaw. But aside from that, I don't think that the Jets have a major problem defensively. I like the Jets defense. To me, the Jets defense played good tonight. Now, would I have liked to see them, tighten it up a little bit towards the back end of this game, and they didn't get off the field to give Rodgers another opportunity, but that drive was doomed for Rodgers. It started off with what we thought was a fumble, and looking back at it, I still don't know how that wasn't a fumble. That seemed like the tuck rule should have came into play, but it looked like a fumble to me. But I understand his arm was going forward, but once his arm finished the throwing motion, the ball was still in his hand. I thought it was a fumble. It was overturned. I learned something new tonight too, and I don't even think I learned it. I just don't think I pay attention when they say it. Buddy tried to challenge it, but you can't after the booth changed something. That kind of actually made me mad because I'm like, well, fuck. If I need time to look at it and review it, and the booth make a decision before I do that don't work and benefit for me, but I know I'm right, but that just fucked me. It's just so many bad rules in the NFL, man, that can fuck teams, and I really don't like that. But it was a great game. Yeah, I enjoyed this game all the way through. Aaron Rodgers, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is done, but I would be shocked if he came back last year because his heart just don't seem in it no more. Like, and I'm not saying he don't seem like he want to play football or nothing like that. It just don't seem like he that happy playing football that much no more. And I understand losing is not fun. But I mean, this just don't even look like the old Aaron Rodgers out there. It just seemed like he working hard to enjoy himself out there with the Jets. That's what it feel like. But listen, I have not lost, as crazy as it's about to sound, I have not lost faith in the Bills. In the Jets. I actually think the Jets can turn this around. I know they 2-4 right now. If Dan Orlovsky can have faith in the Bengals, I can have faith in the Jets. And not to mention the Jets are not playing in. See, my problem with having faith in the Bengals is not even because I understand why somebody would. They still have Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and all that. My problem is that this nigga keeps saying it's just Burrow. Look at how good Burrow play. Look at my nigga. If you take Jamar Chase and T. Higgins off of that team, this team's never making the playoffs. Joe Burrow don't make players better around him. You can't even name one player he done made better. T. Higgins and Jamar Chase gonna be studs with or without this nigga. Mind you, Kyle Brandon, just another one of these spoiled milk bandits who hopped on Twitter today and on his show to say Lamar is not the MVP. Derrick Henry is. My nigga, go suck a sick dick. We is tired of hearing y'all white dudes get on TV and say this. I don't understand why y'all white dudes is fighting so hard to discredit Lamar Jackson at every level. Because when Derrick Henry was putting up crazy numbers with the Titans, I didn't see a nigga on God's green earth saying anything about Ryan Tannehill. And he did have a quarterback. He didn't just randomly get a quarterback now to where people didn't stack the box against him. He had a quarterback back then. But now you got Lamar Jackson. So teams get to play you different. They got no choice but to play you different. If Lamar was average, then they wouldn't play him different. And his production would be much like it was with the Tennessee Titans. Not really game-changing for the Ravens. Just special for Derrick Henry. We knew the Titans wasn't winning no Super Bowl, but we also knew that Derrick Henry was headed to the Hall of Fame. Two things can be true. The Titans wasted him, and Derrick Henry did damn good for himself while he was with the Titans. We knew he wasn't running them to a Super Bowl. I don't like these white dudes in the media. I don't care how racist that sounds. I can't stand them. Just like I can't stand Marcus Spears, Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark is probably my least favorite nigga in the media. Him and Emmanuel Acho and Nick Wright. The way that I don't like those three niggas is unreal. I could not even express to you how much I have a strong dislike for them three. A strong dislike. And Marcus Spears is quickly going to that list. Dan Orlovsky on that list too, but I was talking about black dudes. Nonetheless, the Jets, fuck. I did not write down their next opponent, nor did I write down the Bills' next opponent. That's tragic. That is tragic. Well, let's start our new segment this season. I just came up with this segment. Not like on the spot just now, but I came up with this segment earlier tonight. Earlier tonight when I was watching the game. Dem Boys Alert. Dem Boys Watch. That's what it's called. I don't know why I said alert. Dem Boys Watch. Everybody want to talk about Cowboys. Cowboys don't want to be talked about right now, though, because they ass. But we going to talk about them Cowboys. We going to talk about them boys. Dem Boys Watch. Listen. You know, we've been watching them boys. Them boys. I seen the Dak trash can memes be brought back. And it's not looking good for you. It's not looking good for you. It's not a good team. This team doesn't complement each other. You got CDs snapping on Dak on a weekly basis now. You got Dak turning the ball over in the red zone on a weekly basis now. Everybody want to fire Mike McCarthy. Fire Mike McCarthy. Y'all boys is funny. My advice to them boys, just sit back and enjoy these ass whoopings y'all gonna be collecting over the next. Because let me tell you something. We know the 49ers finna put belt to ass. We know that. Kirk Cousins will give you an opportunity. But if Algier and Bijan come in there and running the ball, that's about to be belt to ass. If the Eagles can run the ball, that's belt to ass. The Texans, if Joe Mixon is healthy and they can run the ball, belt to ass. Commanders, I'm not sold on them putting belt to ass yet, but I do have them winning that game. Giants, the Bengals gonna put belt to ass. The Giants, they could possibly win that one, but I like the Giants defense. If the Giants defense that showed up against Cincinnati show up for Dallas, they'll win that game. They'll win that game. I don't understand how. Well, yeah, I do. Daniel Jones. I got to always remember that Daniel Jones is on the other side of the football, man, because it don't matter how good that defense is. When you got a defense. Because that's what I was doing. I was sitting to myself saying, why is the Giants losing this game with this defense? Yeah, it's because they got Daniel Jones. Gotta remember that. Gotta keep reminding myself of that. That's enough for them boys watch, though. Them boys is not going to be a long segment. Them boys watch is not going to be a long segment. It's basically me talking shit about them boys. But I want to talk about the 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks. They had played last Thursday. And I did not get to talk about it, but I do want to talk about it because the Seahawks ended up winning that game 36-24. And my problem with the Seahawks just persists. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, I'm not about to take shots at Mike McDonald. You might think I'm being biased and all these other type of things, and I get it. But as a matter of fact, let me start off with the defense because I'm going to be on the offense for a little minute. But let me start off with the defense. Not good enough, not enough talent, not talented enough. Shit, fuck not enough talent, just not talented enough, period. At one point in time, the defense was too old. I think now it's a little bit of too young. The young players, I don't even know if it's a such thing. Well, it is a such thing as too young. But it's young. You got young players who haven't developed into good players yet. You got good players who haven't developed into great players yet. The complimentary football never happens with this team. more so than not, both sides of the ball are letting you down more so than both sides of the ball are picking each other up. So I got a lot of problems with the Seahawks. And my only really thing that I love about the Seahawks is the head coach and the three-headed monster that they have over there at receiver. Now, this is my problem with the Seahawks. Look at their receiving core. Look at who they can put on the field at receiver. Noah Fant at tight end, or Font at tight end. Smith and Jigba, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. And I like their running backs. I'm not telling you they world-changing running backs, but they complement this offense well for everything they have. The only thing I don't like about the offense is the play calling and Geno. Geno is limited, and very clearly the play calling is also. You have teams like the Lions, the Bears, the Packers, the Bucks, the Eagles, the Commanders, where them boys at? The Falcons. I already done said the Lions. And the 49ers. All those teams have prolific offenses. All those teams is the top teams in the NFC. All those teams have multiple weapons offensively that they can get the ball to. All of those teams got running backs. All of those teams got decent lines. All of those teams got great weapons on the outside. All of those teams have a guy on defense that you try to hope can play complementary defense, even though I don't really like any of those defenses. Well, except for the Lions now because they just lost Aiden Hutchinson. But when you look at all those offenses, with the exception of maybe the Falcons, most of these offenses is well-oiled machines. You want to know the one that's not? Seahawks. You see, the Falcons just got the talent that they got. Well, they didn't even just get it. They just got Kurt. So I could understand them being a little slow to the party. The Lions, they ain't slow to the party. They average a lot of points, and they done had these weapons for going on 3 years. So they done figured Ben Johnson is a stud too. He ain't gonna be a head. He ain't gonna be calling OC for too much longer. He ain't gonna be calling plays as an OC for too much longer. You look at these teams, and I didn't even go to the AFC. I'm just sticking with the NFC. You look at these NFC teams with all the weapons at their disposals and how many points they can put up and how fluid those offenses are. And then you look at the Seahawks. I don't care about all these numbers that don't matter, like Geno not throwing beyond the line of scrimmage and his completion rate when he throw it 5 yards or less. I do not care about all those ridiculous stats that ultimately mean nothing. What I care about is the fact that for the majority of these games, the Seahawks are not a prolific offense. And that is a problem because you have the weaponry to be a prolific offense. But somehow, the Geno Smith quote was cool. Geno Smith's not enough. Geno Smith is clearly a limited quarterback. You can see that every time you watch the Seahawks play. It's no way that Lamar, Mahomes, Burrow, Allen would be given the talent that Geno has and underperform damn near weekly with this offense. This should be a 30-plus a point per game offense every single week for the last couple years. It's not. Last year, they spent most of the year struggling on how to figure out how to score consistently. Until the Seahawks' philosophy changes. And the scary part, the only negative that I'll give Mike McDonald is if he think that he finna turn this team around by ground pounding and just having a great defense, it's not going to happen. I understand that Mike going to take some years to get his defense in here, the players that he want on his defense to build it in his image. I get that. But you would love for your offense to be a well-oiled machine knowing that they're going to give you 30, most more weeks than not, so that you can figure out the defense. See, the Ravens would be ass if not for the offense being as great as it is, because their defense still figuring shit out. The Seahawks don't even get their defense an opportunity to figure shit out, in my opinion, because the offense ain't consistent enough. And not only that, when I say the offense is not consistent enough, that's not even really the offense. To me, to say it's not consistent enough is a bigger problem, because Why are you not consistent enough with this type of talent playing in the NFC? That is a problem. So, for me, I'm not shocked that the 49ers won this game. The 49ers seem to be the big bad wolf for the NFC. No team can seem to beat them. That's why I'm telling you, Jordan Love and Jaden Daniels is your only. If you hate the 49ers, if you're an AFC team, you shouldn't hate the 49ers. If you root for the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Browns, not the Browns, the Bengals, or the Bills, maybe the Bills you should be worried this year because you just don't have the talent on your team. Those other quarterbacks, you shouldn't be worried about the 49ers because Kyle Shanahan, I promise you, he's not going to beat you. But when I'm looking at this 49er team, aside from the quarterbacks that play in the AFC, they basically the big bad wolf to everybody else in the NFC. Dak struggles against them, ass against them. I don't think Geno done beat the 49ers since he done been in Seattle. The Giants ain't beating them. The Lions, Jared Goff is the guy who you gonna have to hope go in there. See, I don't want to hear this Baker midfield shit. Oh, his moxie and this and that. Bro, I don't care if Baker not scared of the 49ers. Beat the niggas. Not being scared and playing good against the team is two different fucking things. I don't trust any of these quarterbacks in the AFC and the NFC right now to put on a great performance against the 49ers, and the ones that I do probably ain't making the playoffs. Like, Stafford could have a great game against the 49ers. I believe Stafford could go beat the 49ers. Rams ain't making the playoffs. Jordan Love and Jaden Daniels, I don't want to put that on Jaden Daniels because he's a rookie. Jordan Love, to me, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm putting it on him. He should be able to go into San Fran, and be able to beat San Fran. After what I saw him do last year, I got heavy expectations on Jordan Love. I'm gonna be hard on Jordan Love because I think Jordan Love is that boy. That boy. So when I'm looking at this NFC thing, man, the 49ers running around being the big bad wolves of that. Because this shit wouldn't happen if they was in the AFC. Lamar done beat him multiple times. Pat Mahomes, not only do he beat him multiple times, he beat him every single time it matters. Burrow done put his foot in their ass. Allen done beat. Like, to me, if you the 49ers, it's really a godsend that you play in the NFC. Because I know people who 49er fans or whatnot be thinking, if you watch the show, you might think that the 49ers is naturally excluded when I talk about the NFC. No. Y'all niggas ain't special. Y'all special because y'all might think y'all special because y'all play in the NFC. Too many AFC teams done showed me that y'all niggas is not special. So, that's my thoughts on the 49ers. But this was really a Seahawk conversation because I don't think Mike McDonald is going to hold on to Geno for too much longer. It's no way he not watching it. For one, he done seen us beat Geno's ass when he was a Raven. Now he's seeing Geno as his quarterback. I don't hate Geno. I don't dislike Geno. I don't think Geno trash. But Geno is limited. It is what it is. And Geno is not a great reader of the deep. This thing where quarterbacks can't really read defenses great on their own merit. They really rely heavily on a great offensive system. I don't know how we confuse that with, quarterbacks that actually can take the play into their own hands. But it's just when you rank the top quarterbacks in the NFC, it's very hard for me to put Geno anywhere near the top because I just think he is lacking in so many areas. And don't get me wrong, none of these quarterbacks, in my opinion, other than Jaden and Jordan, are studs. But I'm taking Jared Goff before I take Geno. I'm taking Baker over Geno. Taking Dak over Geno. Taking Hurts over Geno. Taking Kirk Cousins over all them niggas I just named, obviously not named Love, not named Jaden. I wouldn't take Kurt over Jared Goff. That might be my Rams bias coming in. But y'all want to know what's funny? When Jared Goff left the Rams, at no point in time did I ever watch him again and say to myself, man, that's always going to be my guy. Jared Goff, man. He always going to be a Ram. My homie loved Jared Goff. I don't hate Jared Goff. I just have no allegiance to Jared Goff, to be completely honest with you, like I do. Like, I understand he was a Ram at one point in time. And usually that mean a lot to me. Like, I be repping the guys who play for the Ravens. I be like, well, he played for the Ravens, so I'm going to rock with him. You know, McDonald was only there for 2 years, and I rock with him heavy. I don't really know why I don't rock with Buddy that hard. I really couldn't tell you. Because Coop is my guy. Coop is my guy. Coop was a Ram for life. I rocks with Coop. Anyways, Ravens Commanders. What a game. What a game. You know, the defense always going to irritate the living shit out of me. And the confusing thing that I have about this game is watching all these white people talk about the game after the game. Lamar Jackson dominated the game with his arm. Somehow the conversation after the game is still Derrick Henry should be MVP, and it's the run game. Listen, white people is telling you, we don't give a fuck about how good Lamar is. We are going to discredit him at every turn. Get over it. That is exactly what white people are telling you. It's why I don't like white media, white sports media, which is basically what the sports media is nowadays. I don't like these ignorant and annoying ass fans who, I told y'all, when you listen to fans, always make sure you're mindful that it's two different fan bases. It's the legitimate fan base and it's the white boy fan base. Because, I don't know if you noticed this, white people have the majority. So they're always going to make up the majority of most fan bases. But you got to be able to separate the ignorant, annoying ass, entitled white people from the actual fans with common sense. And that's pretty much this situation. But ignoring all the white people and the coons that spoke on this game before or after it. Listen, I never seen Lamar Jackson lose these games, and then after the game, people say, you know, I got a lot of faith in the Ravens and Lamar Jackson. But, you know, it's good to be Jaden Daniels and come after Lamar Jackson, the guy who they done spent every single moment of his career hating. And they wonder why he don't want to do shit with none of them. He don't go on their shows. He don't do talking. He don't talk with them, and they wonder why. But, like I said, I like Jaden. Jaden, to me, is not better at anything right now than Lamar Jackson. And somehow people had him as the MVP of the league over Lamar. I just don't understand that. But nonetheless, Jaden played a great game. I like what I saw from Jaden in this game. Now, a lot of people done been talking to me about Caleb Williams. I even had somebody say, Saint, you was wrong about Caleb Williams. And I literally said in every show I talked about Caleb Williams, I said, I'm not judging Caleb Williams yet because I don't know what he is yet. Now, Caleb Williams and the Bears are 4-2 right now. Every team they done beat was 1-4 at the time, or a one-win team. Now, you know Saint dives into who you actually beat. That's why I talk about the Steelers the way I do. So, trying to go at Saint and say, well, Saint, you don't get this dude. I'm not Stephen A. Smith, my nigga. I do my homework. I watch these games. I'm not Dan Orlovsky, my nigga. I'm not the white quarterback apologist. I'm not Ryan Clark, and I'm not Marcus Spears. You don't have to question if I actually did my homework. You don't have to question if I actually did the research. You don't have to question if I actually watched the game. Because I ain't going to talk about the shit if I didn't. Or if I do talk about it, I'm going to preface it by saying, yeah, I didn't watch the whole game. Or I watched pieces of the game. Or I got to go back and watch the rest of the game. I'm never going to lie to you and leave you hanging. I'm always going to give you the truth. So you can make an opinion on how you want to take what I say based off of what you know. Because I hate it when motherfuckers don't watch the games but then try to go break it down to you as if they did. But yes, Caleb Williams and them boys are 4-2. But like I said, they have yet to be the team that's got more than one win on the season. That's important to me. I'm not disrespecting Caleb Williams in any means necessary, and I understand how to judge Caleb Williams without bringing the ultimate the record into play at the moment. I get that. I like what I'm seeing from Caleb Williams. I noticed once he stopped dealing with the fingernail polish, I don't know what his goal was with that. If you want to wear fingernail polish, my nigga, wear it. But to wear it just because you think you doing it in spite of niggas who hate you wearing it, nigga, you need to focus on balling. And I'm pretty sure I said that a couple weeks ago. Like, yo, your concern should not be about getting under the skin of niggas who don't like you wearing fingernail polish, my guy. Your focus needs to be on being a better quarterback for the Chicago Bears. Who give a fuck if it's dudes who don't like you because you wear fingernail polish? You should not be entertaining that. You the leader of a football team. That show a lot of maturity. That show your age. When you would rather focus on niggas who hate you for wearing fingernail polish than worried about the people who actually rooting for you playing and being better. But Caleb Williams seemed to have gotten that under control. So I'm happy that he's starting to come around. Now, Caleb Williams did look god awful them first 2 games. I'm glad that I did not judge him off of them 2 games. I think oftentimes people just still forget that these are rookies at the end of the day, and this is not college. One of the biggest reasons is it's hard when you see dudes playing really bad. But you got to always remember, at least I do, college football and NFL football are not the same thing. They're not. 2 different sports, in my opinion. The mere fact that they teach you in college that you can have 1 foot down and go out of bounds and it counts as a catch is proof it's 2 different sports. They're supposed to be preparing these men for the next level. 1 foot in is not a catch in the NFL. So why wouldn't it be the same rules in college? College is a different sport. They done shown that to y'all too many times. They care more about scoring than the big listen, you can call it corrupt. You can call it whatever you want to. Just don't call it NFL type football. That's all I ask. All I ask is if this is my last night with you. Hold me like I'm more than just a friend. And give me a Mary too. Oh, wait. I can't use. Take me by the hand. Oh, we do what lovers do. It matters how this ends. 'Cause what if I never love again? I don't know what made that pop up in my head, but it did. I was watching SNL today. I told y'all this on the previous show. It's the same day. I recorded these shows in the same day. One during the afternoon, the other one late at night. Well, it's not the same day. It's Tuesday now. I recorded the other one on Monday. But we in the same waking cycle. And I must say, hey, yo, shout out. I be talking to you. Hey. Yo, I'm glad I just thought about this. We got to step away from football real quick. And I know we late in the show, and I wish I had said this earlier in the show, but I didn't, so get over it. As a collective, we need to come together and figure out what show we gonna watch so I can talk about that shit on the channel. Okay? I want to try to talk about shows. I want to see how good I could break down a show for somebody. But I want us to all watch the same show so y'all can critique me on how good I broke that show down. Now, all of us don't have to watch the show, but I'm going to need at least 3 of you niggas watching the show, respectfully. I don't count as a 3. I'm the 4th. I need 3 of y'all. Hen, you going to be 1. I'm just letting you know right there. You don't have a choice, Hen. I'm not saying this is like some crazy maniac, but I rely on you. And when I thought about this, I immediately said, he ain't going to be one of them. Now, we need to pick a show. Because I'm tasking y'all with helping me get better. Okay? Not just at talking this sports shit. We going to branch out. I told you, this channel going to have a little bit of everything. I want to learn how to break down shows and shit. Now, I can never break it down. I'm not talking about breaking it down the way like channels like New Rockstar and shit like that, where they going deep diving into the history of the movie and shit. I don't care for that. I just want to watch a show and be like, bro, me and my channel watching this show, let's break down the show to you know what I'm saying? I just feel like that would be pretty dope. Plus, I watch a lot of shows, and I would like to talk to y'all about some of these shows that I be watching. Like I said, I just got done watching Fight Night, the $1 Million Heist on Peacock. I was going back to watch all of the Law and Orders, but I changed my mind swiftly. I probably will eventually go and watch the Law and Orders, but I just not right now. I'm watching a show on Peacock right now. I can't remember what the name of it is. It's like a murder. It's not a murder mystery. It is a murder mystery, but it's not, because I'm gonna find out by the end of the episode who did the killing and shit. They just string you along for like the whole 40 minutes before they tell you. They might even allude to him basically or her being the culprit, but we're not gonna figure that out to the end of the show where it's time. It's basically like Forensic Files, except for it's different. I really wish they reboot Forensic Files and make a whole new like 20 seasons of that shit with brand new episodes. Forensic Files is probably a top 5 show for me all time. That's not even fair. I have to break down my shows into categories because I watch so many things. Like, the only shows that I know for a fact that's in my top 5 regardless of genre is Parks and Rec, Luther, and what is that? And SNL. Them is the only show. Like, I'm pretty sure somebody was like, damn, he really loved SNL. Yes, I really enjoy watching SNL. Great memories of watching SNL back in the day. Most of the time we love these shows because of the memories we have attached to them. Like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Digimon, my 2 favorite animes all time. I didn't even know they was animes at the time growing up watching it because it came on WB. My love for those 2 shows, every variation of them, specifically the main ones, will never fade. My love for Transformers will never fade. These are things I grew up watching as kids, and I got to see them blossom into better things as I got older. Batman and the Justice League. So the cartoon that I grew up watching damn near nightly was the Justice League on Adult Swim or whatever time it came on. I used to stay up late and watch that shit every night. Every night, because my mama used to let us go to sleep with the TV on once we got old enough. She wasn't letting us go to sleep with the TV on when we was young, except if it was on a Friday night. I even remember these lineups on Cartoon Network. That's why, you know what's crazy to me? Cartoon Network will always have a special place in my heart because that was the station that I watched growing up. I didn't watch Nickelodeon or Disney. I watched Cartoon Network all week, and then on Saturdays we watched WB until it was time to turn it back to Cartoon Network that afternoon. Just a special place in my heart Cartoon Network will always have. I was at a tattoo parlor one time, and this white dude, me and him was talking because our tattoo artist was basically taking a smoke break or whatever. So it was like 6 of us sitting back there in chairs because all of our tattoo artists was on break. They take synchronized breaks. It's actually smart. I'm not going to lie to you. But matter of fact, let me tell you why they take synchronized breaks, because I just thought this was such a unique answer. When one of us had asked them why do they all go on break at the same time, they was like, because if we all go on break at the same time, there is no other time throughout the day that any of us should be missing, so we get more work done. Plus, none of us like to tattoo by ourselves. And I was like, I thought to myself instantly, like, I thought they would be talking to the client or something. No, most of these tattoo artists at the shop that I used to go to like to talk to each other while they tattooing. And they do great jobs, so it's not like they distracted. They just need to They don't want it to be solely focused on the tattoo, I guess. I don't know. But the reasons that they gave was actually pretty smart. Nonetheless, it was a dude who was sitting in one of the chairs who had Cartoon Network characters tatted all on his arm. He had Nickelodeon ones on there too, but I don't care about the Nickelodeon ones. The Cartoon Network things he had tattooed on him was fire. My only problem, did not have Scooby-Doo. He had Billy and Mandy. He had the Grim Reaper from Billy and Mandy. The Jamaican Grim Reaper. He had Ren and Stimpy. I don't even like Ren and Stimpy. I don't even think that came on the Cartoon Network. He didn't have Scooby-Doo on his arm. He didn't have Whatever Happened to Robot Jones on his arm. He had a big ass SpongeBob on his arm. But we're not here to talk about this dude tattoos. But listen, I just wanted to put that out there. Now back to the games. About the shows and shit. But back to the games. Another long episode. I'm not a fan of moral victories. And I noticed a lot of people giving the Commanders a moral victory after this loss to the Ravens. Something they would never get at Ravens. But I like Jaden. The thing the thing that I liked about this game the most from Jaden, for one, the people who telling you, oh, he did this to an elite defense of the Ravens. No, he didn't. The Ravens defense is not elite. I'm tired of people trying to push that narrative. What I am impressed with is Lamar Jackson on the other side of that ball. You know that your production has to match Lamar Jackson's production. Simple as that. I'm not playing against the Ravens defense at this point. I'm playing against Lamar Jackson. I got to make shit shake because he going to make shit shake. Simple as that. The fact that he understand that already, love it. Can't wait till he have his first offseason. He's not going to win rookie. He's not going to win MVP. They're not going to give a rookie MVP. Not with Pat Mahomes, Lamar, Burrow, and Allen breathing. It's not going to happen. He definitely will win Rookie of the Year, though. He'll probably win that and Offensive Rookie of the Year. So, but yeah, he ain't winning MVP. Not with them dudes in the league right now. I wouldn't even give him MVP over Derrick Henry right now. Before I leave, though, it is interesting to me the play calling for the Commanders. I like the play calling from Cliff. And the thing that I like the most is he not addicted to the stats right now. He not doing things to try to boost Jaden's stats, because Jaden's stats don't look great in some of the numbers. But if you watch the games, it does not matter. He plays winning football, and he is a reason his team is winning. Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts is just a new age of player. You don't always have to have these gaudy numbers. Josh Allen and Burrow, and Mahomes understand this. This is why I love Pat Mahomes and Lamar. Lamar and Pat Mahomes is like two of the first quarterbacks that I realized don't give a flying fuck about their stats. They just want to win the game. Like, I done seen quarterbacks throw 2 interceptions in a game and get timid. Fuck the coach. They don't want to throw it themselves. Never seen that with Mahomes. Never seen that with Allen. I mean, with Allen or Lamar. We really is with. I hope Love and Jaden can get themselves in that conversation. It's gonna be tough, but the Commanders' next opponent, I think, is Carolina. So that should be a dub for them. That should be a dub for them. I'm not finna play this game of, any given Sunday. If the Commanders do what they're supposed to do, they should win that game. Plus, I'm disgusted with Carolina. The fact that you did Cam Newton the way you did him, and now you're dealing with this thing with Jay. The Cam Newton curse is never leaving, by the way. The way y'all did Cam Newton, I can't remember the last time I ever seen a superstar quarterback get hold like that by their own team, other than Lamar Jackson. Because making Lamar play out his entire rookie contract before you pay him, even though every single quarterback in his draft got paid early, every quarterback after him done been paid early. If teams felt like they was a franchise quarterback. Meanwhile, none of them have really done what Lamar has really. None of them has done what Lamar has done. And he had to play out his contract to get it and basically beg and fight and claw for it. Yeah, that's very irritating to me. But the Carolina Panthers seem to be on a roll of having head coaches that just shoot down their quarterback's confidence. Ron Rivera was never an ally for Cam Newton. I don't care what you say. He did not come to bat for Cam Newton the way you expect a quarterback to go. Is the way you expect a head coach to go to bat for a quarterback? You never see that. At least I rarely saw it from Ron. And not to mention, as soon as Ron Rivera got his ass up out of Washington started winning games. And I don't want to hear that shit. Oh, well, they have Jaden Daniels. Ron would have ruined Jaden Daniels. See, that's the thing y'all not understanding. Jaden Daniels is not putting up some otherworldly gaudy numbers. It's his play, which is being helped by Cliff Kingsbury and an actual good head coach in Dan Quinn. Because I do think Dan Quinn is a good head coach. The end of his time in the Falcons, to me, that's a rare situation. Because you saw immediately he got his groove back when he got to Dallas. When you lose a Super Bowl the way the Falcons lost that Super Bowl, I knew it was over for them after that. I knew that regime, that era of Falcon football would not end with the bang. Except they heard the bang of another gun shooting them. That was the only bang they was going to hear at the end of it all. But aside from that, I like Dan Quinn as a head coach. I'm so happy that the Commanders finally got Ron Rivera punk ass up out of there. because he wasn't doing anything for the team. Now my next thing for the Commanders would be trade away Deron and Jonathan Allen. Deron Payne, I don't even know if he played last week, and I'm not about to sit here and disrespect Alabama boys because I watched both of those young men. They're not young men no more. They grown-ass men. I watched Deron and Jonathan Allen dominate at Alabama. Some of my best years rooting for Alabama, they were there. So I'm going to just go ahead and tell you right now I'm going to be biased. I'm not finna disrespect neither of them two dudes. I don't even like that I asked, did Deron even play Sunday? Both players should be traded, though. I don't understand why you keep both players on the team. I don't understand why they weren't traded last year. Both of them play defensive tackle at that. The fact that you haven't tried to... I'm going to be honest. The fact that Jonathan Allen has not been able to move outside and be a dominant outside pass rusher really bothers me. Because I think if he was with a different team, he would have been able to do that by now. I think in a different reality, Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen are unbelievable with a different team. But because they had to withstand Ron Rivera for so long, I do not think Dan Quinn can save them. I think it's time for them to go find new life elsewhere. Because I still got faith in both players. I think both players can still be great impact players. It just can't be that in Washington anymore. When it was time for Jadeveon to get up out of Houston, it was time for him to get on up out of Houston. Sometimes you just run your course in a place. That don't mean you're not good no more. That just means it's time to go somewhere else and be great. You just need a change of scenery at times. So, shout out to the Commanders for getting rid of Ron. But they might have to start trading off some of these top tier players next in order to not only build up more capital for the draft, but because I really think that you should be trying to build up that offense going forward. Dan Quinn know what he wants defensively and whatnot, and I trust Dan Quinn. He's the defensive coordinator, so you don't even have to spend crazy money. If Dan Quinn is the defensive coordinator, and plus, listen, that defense done fell apart in Dallas without Dan Quinn. I think they should go all out on trying to bring over weapons to help them, but the Panthers, the fact that they 1-5 and they still got Dalton out there and not Bryce Young, the fact that the other game, Bryce Young was put in at the end, and the coach said, yeah, it was just so I didn't get Andy hurt. Yeah, that right there, I'm not going to lie. When he said that, that pissed me off immediately. That's the first thing, because you just basically said you put Bryce out there not giving a fuck about his health. But on top of that, because it's definitely a way to answer that question, and the way to answer it is not, yeah, I didn't want to get Andy hurt, so I just threw Bryce out there. That's definitely not how you answer that question. But two, why is Andy Dalton starting? Because we know where Andy Dalton is in this league. Andy Dalton not finna turn anything around. Why is he still starting? The magic wore off after that one win. Why is he still starting over Bryce Young? See, it's almost, you can't even teach this type of stupidity. It's almost as if the Panthers are hoping that Bryce Young is just absolute trash. Because I have no idea why you would not put him back into the starting lineup and pray to God that he develop into the quarterback that you need him to be now. Because that do a lot for the franchise. That make it so that you don't got to use a first round pick on a quarterback. That make it so that you didn't waste a first round pick that you used to draft a quarterback. I don't like it. I was about to say something real ignorant. It wasn't even going to be ignorant. It was about to be, I don't like when white coaches come in and try to upend everything like the way the Carolina coaches. But I don't. Coaches are going to try to bring in their guys. But at some point in time, why would you hire a guy who was going to bench Bryce? That's the shit that I'm talking about with the Panthers. You didn't vet this nigga before you brought him in and said, listen, I don't care how ugly it get. Bryce does not get benched. Especially not for Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton should only be playing if Bryce is hurt. Cleveland understand more than Carolina. Cleveland know Deshaun trash, but they also know that they paid him too much motherfucking money for him to be sitting on a fucking bench. So I don't care how ugly it get. That nigga is starting. Why would Andy Dalton still be starting? You got nothing tied up in Andy Dalton for the future. Your franchise future is not on the line with Andy Dalton if he sink or swim. Literally, Andy Dalton playing good or bad means nothing to this franchise. Bryce does. Incompetent franchise. I already don't like the head coach. Never liked the owner. The Carolina Panthers are a disgrace. To have a uniform that nice, to have a mascot so fire, and not necessarily the mascot, for your team logo to be a fucking Black Panther. The things that you can do with that name. You got a beautiful name. I like the old font the Panthers used to have. Beautiful stadium. Great fan base. Some of the most loyal fans in all of any fan base I've ever seen. And this is how you continue to do them. Every opportunity David Tepper and these niggas get, they fuck they fans. I ain't even a dude who care about the fans like that. I care about the Carolina Panther fans. They some of the most... Now, Carolina Panther fan do got some racistness in there. But for the good Carolina Panther fans, for the majority of Carolina Panther fans, they good people. They rock with Cam Newton. They rock with their guys. They support their guys. And they do not do that shit that other teams do where they defend the fucking billionaire. Maybe it's because the Panthers done experienced two terrible owners to where they done realize, yeah, we're not going to be supporting a fucking owner over the players. Maybe that need to happen to every franchise. Nonetheless, the Panthers are cursed. I feel bad for those fans. Because any fan with a brain right now is pissed because they saying to themselves, why the fuck is Andy Dalton still starting? Why are we not even trying to figure out if Bryce Young has anything for us? We're not even trying. You're a coach that gave up on trying to develop. But your job as a coach is to try to develop. I'm pretty sure when he got hired, he said he could fix Bryce Young. Didn't even try. And once again, I'll say it again. I don't care how white people hate it. Very interesting that a black quarterback's shot was taken from him this quick. Baker got chance after chance. I'm not going to go down all the white quarterback names. You know all the white quarterbacks that got chance after chance after chance after chance. And you see what happened to Trey Lance. You see what happened to Bryce Young. You see what happened to the black quarterbacks. They're not afforded them same chances. And if somebody tried to throw Josh Rosen in there, go ahead and punch yourself in the face. Not trying to hear that shit. But I want to talk about the Raiders real quick also, since we're talking about dysfunctional bad franchises. You know, a couple weeks ago, Antonio Pierce said, we have players making business decisions and we gonna make the business decisions ourselves. Now, I don't know how much I enjoy a coach saying that. I just feel at times, sometimes coaches just... If your entire team is not making business decisions, calling out one dude but phrasing it as we got guys, I just don't see the purpose in that. The Raiders should blame themselves for how this thing is going. Max Crosby should have been traded last year. Devontae Adams should have been traded last year. You didn't trade either of them dudes. You kept them around. You wasted the value. Josh Jacobs, you lost him for nothing. Derek Carr, you held on to him too long. Like, the Raiders continue to prove to me time and time and time again. You can take this funky ass team out of Oakland and put them in a beautiful city like Vegas or desert like Vegas, and you still gonna get the same fucking results. As long as this nigga is the owner of the team, nothing's gonna change. Just like with Dallas having Jerry Jones as the owner, nothing's gonna change. That's the reality. Nothing's gonna change. And because we know nothing's gonna change, the Raiders gonna stay in the same cycle they in. Why would you go sign Christian Wilkins when you should already be trying to trade Max Crosby? I don't get that. It's another team on here that need to make a trade. Hold up. I ain't finna waste my time with these Raiders right now. Hold up. It's a team on here that I was talking about earlier that need to go make a trade. Hold up. Let me find them. It ain't the Saints, but the Saints, I'm not even gonna get into the Saints. They done chose to prolong the rebuild for so many years now, they gonna fuck up and not even have an opportunity to rebuild. They're just gonna be a sorry ass team for like the next 20 years at some point in time. They're gonna fuck themselves. It's not the Browns. Yes. Why is Amari Cooper still a Brown? Them niggas 1-5. You don't think a Super Bowl contender want Amari Cooper? Because I know you're not keeping that nigga around for Deshaun Watson the way he playing. You need to be praying that Nick Chubb get back. That's the only thing that's going to save Deshaun Watson, because that makes sure the ball ain't in his hand. It's more than evident Deshaun Watson ain't getting back to Deshaun Watson before that all these things happen. So why in God's name is Amari Cooper still on this team? I don't know why they haven't traded Denzel Ward yet, but I'm not telling you to go on to a fire sale, but Amari Cooper shouldn't still be on this team. The other team, they talking about the Lions trading for Max Crosby. I would like to see it. They definitely could use a Max Crosby on their team. That's for sure, because Aiden Hutchinson was already becoming a Max Crosby type player. Yeah, so I would enjoy that trade, even though I think the Ravens had the assets to go make a trade for him right now. And that's a player that they definitely would need. I don't understand the Ravens. Could you imagine Max Crosby with the Ravens? I'm pretty sure the Ravens could imagine it. I don't know why they not. The Ravens brought back Yannick Ngakoue, bro. The Ravens just do shit that's not serious to me. Like Zach Orr, an unserious defensive coordinator. But I'm not finna get into Zach Orr. There's one more team on here that need to go make a trade. Give me 2 seconds. I'm about to find the team. That's who it was. We back to Dallas, watch. Them boys watch. Micah Parsons. Time to trade him. I'm pretty sure Micah wants to be in Dallas. I mean, the publicity that you get, he got a podcast there, Jerry's World. I'm pretty sure he would love to stay in Dallas. However, if you're the Dallas Cowboys, you don't have a good roster. You done made good draft picks over the last couple years. You done signed some good players, but this roster now, super depleted. This is not a roster that can compete with the top rosters in the NFC. And the only way that I think that the Dallas Cowboys can end up getting true capital in order to start, not a rebuild, to start putting new pieces, new great pieces in place to ensure that you don't fall off a cliff anytime soon. That's more so what this is. And I think that you can easily do that if you trade Micah Parsons. Because, for one, you already pay CD and Dak a hefty little load. Micah going to want to be the highest paid defender in football. I'm pretty sure you can afford that, but for what purpose? If he the only great defender on your defense and your team not headed to a Super Bowl, what would be the purpose of paying him? I think Micah needs to become a trade target. I'm going to be completely honest with you. And I know Dallas ain't going to want to trade away a Micah Parsons. I know that sounds blasphemous even talking about it. I know some motherfuckers turned off the channel. They turned, he just like them other dudes. I promise you I'm not. I'm thinking about the fact that Dallas does not have an opposite. Well, they have receivers, just not another number one receiver opposite of CD. It's a misconception to think that you need to have two number ones. I understand we got Joe Burrow running around with Chase and Higgins. That's not a normal thing. Most teams do not have two number ones running around. The Eagles with Devontae and AJ. Not a normal thing. They have good enough receivers over there, in my opinion. The running game, tragic. Absolutely tragic. You need a running game. The offensive line, not the same. Your defensive line, not good. Linebackers, not good. Secondary, not good. Now, I believe Trayvon Diggs can get back to being a great player, even though he getting cooked alive this year, and he is not rated high so far this year when it comes to his positioning. But he is coming off of an ACL injury. So I'm giving him grace. What's the grace for everybody else? And if you're looking at Dallas, what is the quickest way for these niggas to get back to being able to put together a good team? Trading away an asset that you're probably going to lose anyways. I would trade Micah and try to collect a hefty package, but that's just me. Do we want to touch on anything else before we get on up out of here tonight? We do not. And I'm tired. Ready to go to bed. Not even going to edit this. I'm going to edit it in the morning. With that being said, I appreciate y'all for joining me on another episode of... God, I was going to say Kicking It With Saint. I appreciate y'all for joining me on another episode of The Recap. Tell somebody you fuck with and tell somebody you love them. You can be anything in this world, so choose to be kind to somebody today. I say it every show because I mean that shit. Like, subscribe, share. I fuck with you. I love you. Saint out.
Really, the explosion was just a metaphor. A metaphor for anger within our hearts. Because the white man...
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, she know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy. Scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber. You out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.